All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Brad Finkeldye, and I wanted to, we're all in quarantine, right? And I wanted to, I realized I haven't been giving back as much. And I've created a career clarity course, which has helped a lot of people, myself including, really dig down and figure out what it is they want to do. What is their purpose? What excites them? And so I created this course over the past couple years, and I put it together in a more streamlined format. And I wanted to give it in a way that's more accessible for people, for them to just uh, dive in right now. So if you've lost your job and you're really thinking about what you want to do next, you can just watch these videos and answer the questions and do the exercises. And I think it's going to, not I think, it's going to be really helpful for you to gain that clarity for yourself so you know what you're excited about. So I'm going to jump right in and start sharing my screen. And I'm just going to go through each section on each video and just dive deeper into it as if I was working with you directly as your own coach. So let's dive in. Share my screen here. There we go. Okay, so this course is up on Teachable, and you can purchase it if you'd like to. But I'm just going to kind of go in, and so if you're in a situation where that's just not possible right now, that's totally cool. The whole purpose is just to give back. So what can you expect to get from this course? It's first thing, right? I'm a big believer that you should know who you are. So Shakespeare said, "To thine own self be true." Because if we're not living from our own values and not living from our own purpose, that spirit inside of us tends to dwindle out and die. It's always there, but if you're not living into it, that's when I believe a lot of issues in life show up, and we become the dispassionate person. We become the disgruntled person. We become, I'll even speak for myself, depressed, unhappy. And this will give you what you can expect from this course is diving deep into yourself and figuring out what are some of those things for yourself that you're really, truly passionate about. All right. So we're not going to watch this video. It's kind of the same thing we're doing right here, but this is for someone who's not watching this video. Um, so this just kind of goes over a little bit more of that, what you'll discover. This goes into a little bit about me and my background. I'm here because I was unhappy with my career at one point, and I decided to make a pivot and a change. I was stuck behind the computer too much, and now I get to help others go from something they don't like to something that they really love. An example of that is, I helped out a client once that was in a position, he was doing project management, and he just kind of become complacent in what he was doing. And we worked together, and basically through one coaching session, we figured out that he had a passion for giving back to the special needs community. And he wasn't doing any of that in his life. He had totally forgotten about it. He'd kind of buried it because his younger brother had special needs, and but his younger brother had passed on. And when we got down into it, that's what he was really passionate about, and he could never connect something that he really cared about with the skills that he had. And then where does that meet a market need, right? So that's what this course is all about. It's helping you dive deep into what that is for you. And so now he can take all of his project management skills and pivot those into, the special needs community, like maybe the Special Olympics or something of that nature. I'll close my window real quick. I thought I thought everything was real quiet around here, but there's some trucks driving by. So anywho, That's the purpose of this. That's what's happening, is you get to figure out what your skills are. What do you really, really, really care about? And then where do they meet a market need? That's what you're going to get through this course, okay? Um, so just play along here and answer all of the questions that you can. Dig deep within yourself. So let's dive into Unit 1. And after each unit, I'll be breaking these out into separate videos. So this is going to be the introductory and Unit 1. So concept introductory is self-discovery, right? What is it about you that you may know about, and some may not even realize at this point, that gets you all riled up, that gets you passionate, that's something you care about, something you get that ticks you off, but that you want to make a difference in the world, right? What is it? This is what this is all about. Okay. Now, one of the first exercises I'm going to have you do is I want you to really write down the why you're doing this. I know it seems obvious, of figuring out your purpose, but there's something special that happens, that when you actually take the energy and you take the thought and you put it on paper, and I mean real physical paper, um, that it transfers those thoughts into an outside, into reality. Because when you read it again, there's something that happens and you can realize some new things for yourself. Because everything that happens in between here, year, 2 years, the 6 inches there, happens really, really, really fast. And sometimes it can be misconstrued, or we just don't really see it for what it truly is. Kind of like a mirror. So it's almost like a mirror. And when we get to see it outside of ourselves, it can give us a new perception, a new angle, and we can take new actions based upon that. So it's really important to write down why you're doing this exercise and then reflect on that for a minute, okay? The next exercise I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you go outside of this platform, YouTube or wherever you're watching this, or LinkedIn, and I want you to take a couple personality tests. One is from a website, crystalknows.com, and that will give you a really good insight into your personality type. And once you know your personality type, then you can start to play to that. In football, we don't put the linebacker, as a quarterback. The linebacker is usually a really big person. They can block, and they can, they move left and right. They're not as fast and nimble, right? But the quarterback's usually a little smaller, usually pretty nimble, and you want to be able to play to your strengths, and knowing your personality type can help you understand that, so you're not wasting a bunch of time. I know I've definitely not played to mine. It just didn't work. And then one of the other things is the 16 personalities types, right? That will give you a different angle of your personality. And it's the same concept, but I believe having multiple tests to tell you two different angles, or multiple angles, can really help you hone in and cross-section where you're best at. So take the time to go through those personality tests, and then I want you to actually write down that, okay? And understand that's the beginning point, because then you can start to find careers, you can start to find jobs that will help you that will help you clearly identify what that is for you. If you're a people person, maybe it means you might be in sales. If you're really a head type person, and you might be into engineering. So use these and be honest and transparent in them. Don't lie, because you're only lying to yourself at that point, right? So the next section is we're going to get into self-limiting the beliefs. What do you believe about yourself that's holding you back? The good, the bad, the ugly. Um, you may be an incredible writer, but you're not being a writer right now because you believe it's not possible. Maybe you had a belief instilled in you at a younger age by people who didn't really believe in you and told you you're no good, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, blah 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 blah. But those beliefs stuck with you. So in this exercise, I really want you to think about what are those about you, you know, because your beliefs can shift and change. You just have to put in the effort and time to understand what they are and the bring about the awareness of them so then you can go to work on them, right? Every belief is it is possible to change your beliefs, but it does take some work. But the first step is awareness of what they are. So go through this exercise of writing down your self-limiting beliefs of what you think you are and what you're not. Here's a hint: whenever you get really upset or ticked off, and maybe you fly off the handle, but you're yelling at yourself, that's maybe what you really believe about yourself, and that's what you should go to work on. Okay, so wrapping up Unit 1, what'd you learn about yourself? Write down all the insights, the things you maybe didn't think you would see about yourself. How did that make a difference, for yourself and your career right now? What does that bring about as a new possibility in your life? Maybe what was confirmed, for yourself, the good and the bad. Like, oh, I thought I wanted to be, for me, I just tell you, as a little kid, I thought I was going to be a priest, but then I figured out I like women, so that's not going to work. So I don't know. That's a great example here, but it's a true example for me of like maybe you think you want to do something, but through the discovery process, you realize, man, it sounds as cool as that sounds like it's just not for you, or you're really not committed to the process of being that person, right? You know, I just got back from doing a trip that I've always wanted to do and live in an RV. But I got about a month and a half, 2 months into it, and I had to wrestle with the idea that it wasn't for me. And I put in months and months and years of figuring out how to do it, and it was a big dream of mine. But it wasn't until I actually went through the experience of it that I figured out, man, traveling full time is really more romantic than what it is. And I realized through the process that community is more important than having, being anywhere that I want at any time. So, would you really learn about yourself through this process? Be honest with yourself. I hope this video is helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in Unit 2. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, now how do I stop this thing? How do I stop share? Stop the recording. See you in the next one.